Level 1. Larvae. You are not yet a creature of consequence, a mere potential in the grand scheme of the colony. A minuscule, blind, and legless curl of tissue, no larger than a grain of sand. You reside in a sealed chamber 20 inches beneath the silent forest floor. Unseen and unrecognized, diligent workers delicately transport you between the labyrinthine rooms of the nest, meticulously sorting you by size amongst hundreds of identical sisters. The air surrounding you is a constant, humid warmth, yet your undeveloped senses cannot perceive its scent. Movement is beyond your capacity, sight, an unknown sensation. But you possess a singular, critical ability, one that no adult in this sprawling colony shares. You eat. The mature workers, distinguished by their formidable mandibles, hardened exoskeletons, and nimble legs, are incapable of digesting solid food. Their internal passages are simply too constricted for any solid matter to reach their gut. Consequently, they tenderly deposit fragments of deceased insects directly upon your minuscule body, where your potent enzymes swiftly break them down into a nutrient-rich liquid slurry. In essence, the entire colony sustains itself by imbibing from your very mouth. You are not merely an infant. You are a communal stomach, a vital nexus of nourishment. Without your unique digestive capacity, and that of your countless sisters, every adult within the nest would face certain starvation. Beside you, a neighboring larva ceases to feed. Over the span of hours, her tiny form visibly weakens, her body losing the characteristic healthy sheen that the vigilant nurses seek. By morning's light, she is gently carried away to a deeper, more desolate chamber. In times of scarcity, the colony, driven by the stark calculus of survival, resorts to consuming its own young to preserve the lives of its indispensable workers. This grim reality is unknown to you, as is everything else. Yet, deep within the intricate chemistry of your nascent body, your ultimate destiny is already being inexorably etched. A greater abundance of food signifies your path to becoming a queen, less a life as a worker. You are granted no voice in this decree. Now, a subtle transformation begins. Your rudimentary skin tightens, your tiny body's metabolic pace decelerates. For the very first time in your existence, you cease to feed. You are entering Level 2. Pupa. Level 2. Pupa. From specialized glands within your mouth, you begin to spin delicate silk, meticulously encasing yourself within a protective cocoon. The world around you recedes into a profound stillness, a silence deeper than the chamber itself, more profound than the soil resting above. Inside, a radical transformation commences. Your larval tissues dissolve. This is no mere metaphor. Your very cells meticulously disassemble at the molecular level, and from this biological wreckage, something entirely new constructs itself. Legs, antennae, formidable mandibles, the nascent architecture of a body exquisitely designed for a life you have yet to begin. You appear as a pale, ethereal ghost of the ant you are destined to become, your limbs folded, antennae neatly tucked, and eyes still sealed in darkness. Attentive workers carefully transport you to precisely temperature-regulated brood chambers, adjusting your delicate position by mere fractions of an inch. Gratitude is an emotion beyond your current capacity, movement, and impossibility. Yet, you are far from inert. From your transforming body, a precious fluid now seeps, a vital secretion abundant in proteins, amino acids, sugars, and hormones. Workers eagerly imbibe it, as do the younger larvae. This substance is as essential to them as milk is to a newborn mammal. And critically, you need them to drink it, for if this life-sustaining fluid collects and pools around your cocoon, rather than being consumed, a deadly fungus will swiftly proliferate within it. Such fungal growth spells your demise. Your very survival hinges on this constant draining. Conversely, their survival relies on their ability to drain you. A pupa situated 2 chambers away is not so fortunate. The dedicated nurses are stretched thin, and the crucial fluid begins to accumulate. By the 3rd day, delicate, pale filaments of fungal growth spread across her cocoon, eerily resembling cracks spiderwebbing across glass. No one arrives to save her. Meanwhile, your own cocoon darkens, and beneath its silken shroud, your new exoskeleton steadily hardens. The intricate process within you is nearing completion. Level 3. Nurse, you rupture the fragile cocoon, emerging into the world wet and soft. Your newly formed exoskeleton is so tender, so pliable, that even a casual touch could easily mar its surface. Immediately, a throng of workers surrounds you, meticulously licking you clean. Within a mere few hours, your cuticle darkens and hardens, and you take your first deliberate steps. You are, unequivocally, an ant now. You possess 6 articulated legs, powerful jaws, and complex compound eyes. Eyes, however, that are destined never to behold the light of the sun. Your inaugural shift commences even before your body has fully dried. Your primary duty, tending to the brood. This involves carefully transporting eggs between various chambers, constantly adjusting their position to maintain optimal temperature. A fractional degree too warm means certain death. A fractional degree too cold arrests their delicate development. You nourish the larvae mouth to mouth, regurgitating liquid sustenance from a specialized pouch in your throat, an organ you were previously unaware you possessed. You drink the vital milk that seeps from the pupae, the very fluid that sustained you during your own pupal stage. You diligently groom the queen, meticulously spreading her unique chemical signature across your own body with every tactile interaction, ensuring that her fertility is broadcast throughout the entire colony. For weeks on end, all of these intricate tasks are performed in absolute darkness. One evening, a worker close by lays an egg, her own. You detect its presence instantly. Its chemical profile is incorrect. It lacks the indispensable hydrocarbon signature of the queen. Without hesitation, you consume it. Other nurses follow suit with any such rogue eggs they discover. The colony does not punish the individual worker. Rather, she is simply not permitted to be a mother. Nor are you. Not within these chambers. Not in this specialized body. Increasingly, older workers return from the world above with sustenance. Yet each day, fewer return than ventured forth. The colony's imperative demands more bodies on the exposed surface. Within you, the levels of juvenile hormone begin to subtly shift. You sense an undeniable, nascent pull, an instinctual yearning toward the light you have never witnessed. You are progressing to Level 4, Forager. Level 4. Forager, the light strikes you with the force of a solid wall. Having spent your entire existence cocooned in absolute darkness, the sun now floods every single receptor in your complex compound eye simultaneously. The heat is immediate and intense. The air, parched. The vast ground stretches endlessly in every conceivable direction, and each blade of grass towers around you like an unyielding column of steel. This is, without question, the most perilous assignment within the entire colony. It is precisely why it has been bestowed upon you. You are older now. Your body, having fulfilled its initial roles, possesses less inherent value than a freshly emerged nurse. Thus, you are dispatched to the unforgiving world outside. The oldest workers are sent first, as they have the least remaining life to forfeit. Foraging, in essence, is a suicide assignment veiled as a promotion. You navigate this formidable landscape by discerning patterns in polarized light, by recognizing subtle landmarks, and remarkably, by meticulously counting your own steps. Each stride is instinctively logged within you, a finely tuned biological pedometer that precisely tracks distance through every footfall. Researchers, in a clever experiment, once affixed tiny stilts to ants' legs to test this very mechanism. The ants subsequently overshot their nests by precisely the distance the extended stride length predicted. Conversely, when another group's legs were shortened, those ants consistently undershot their destination. You are, in essence, a sophisticated biological machine that counts its own steps, entirely unaware of its own intricate programming. Ahead of you, a fellow forager suddenly freezes. A forward fly, scarcely larger than a pinhead, executes a swift, dive-bombing attack on her thorax, injecting a single egg before you can even register the threat. In the coming days, the nascent larva will migrate to her head, where it will consume her brain from within. Eventually, her head will detach, and a new fly will emerge from the gruesome stump. She does not flinch. The foraging column does not falter, and neither do you. You grasp a fragment of a seed, a burden 3 times your own body weight, your powerful jaws aching with the effort. You meticulously carry it homeward, simultaneously laying a precise chemical trail from a gland situated near your stinger. This ephemeral trail, however, will dissipate within a mere few hours, lasting only as long as the sustenance it marks. The colony will feast tonight, but by morning, the trail will be gone. Someone, inevitably, must find the next food source alone. You are advancing to Level 5, Scout. Level 5, Scout. No comforting chemical trail guides your path. No protective column surrounds you. No sister moves ahead. There is only you, the unyielding dirt, and the daunting expanse of every direction simultaneously. You depart the nest utterly alone, without a pheromonal beacon to follow, venturing in an ever-widening spiral across ground that no other colony member has ever charted. Your internal light compass meticulously tracks the sun's position. Your legs instinctively log every single step. Should you become lost, you will perish precisely where you halt. There will be no search party. Most scouting expeditions yield nothing. You may walk for hours, only to return empty-handed. However, when you discover something precious, a fallen fruit, a deceased beetle, a sweet trail of aphid secretion, you carefully load a sample into your mandibles and race homeward, meticulously trailing a thin line of pheromone behind you. Then, you undertake an action that unequivocally meets the scientific definition of teaching. You turn around and personally guide a single nestmate back to the source. This is a one-on-one tutelage. She follows closely behind you, gently tapping your legs and abdomen with her antennae. Should she fall behind, you deliberately slow your pace. Once she catches up, you accelerate. This collaborative journey takes 4 times longer than if you had traveled alone, yet upon its completion, she has fully learned the route. She, in turn, can now lead the next ant. A scout from your very chamber departed 2 days prior, heading east. She has not returned. No one alters the roster. No one initiates a search. The colony, with its teeming 10,000 sisters, possesses no physiological mechanism for grief. You are called upon once more, this time venturing north into uncharted territory. The overwhelming light of the surface seems to swallow you whole. You follow no predetermined path. You simply go. You are now entering Level 6, Undertaker. Level 6. Undertaker. The unmistakable scent reaches you long before your eyes can locate the body itself. It's a sharp chemical note, cutting through the nest's familiar baseline odor like a discordant frequency. Oleic acid, distinctly fatty, utterly unmistakable. It signals one undeniable truth: a sister is dead. You discover her wedged against a tunnel wall, clearly a forager by the signs of wear. A cracked cuticle, one antenna noticeably shorter than the other, mandibles worn smooth from months of arduous carrying. She has been deceased long enough for the characteristic acid to seep and bloom from her decaying tissues. You grasp her firmly with your jaws and meticulously drag her through 2 bustling junctions and up an ascending shaft towards the midden, the designated refuse heap at the colony's periphery. Here, the bodies of deceased sisters and exhausted substrate accumulate in a growing pile that the rest of the nest instinctively shuns. You gently set her down. Then, you return for the next. This is your new, solitary role: mortician, refuse collector, pariah. In specialized leafcutter colonies, workers dedicated to waste management are systematically ostracized by every other caste. Your body, inevitably, harbors pathogens, fungal spores, bacteria, and parasites acquired from the deceased. Consequently, the colony regards you as a vector of contamination. You are forbidden from approaching the precious brood and from the vital fungus gardens. The very nest that birthed you still reserves a place for you, but it is perpetually at the edge, on the periphery. One afternoon, you encounter a body that is still moving. She walks, grooms herself, behaves outwardly like any other worker, yet she unmistakably reeks of oleic acid, the potent chemical of death clinging to her cuticle. You grasp her, and she struggles against your hold. You carry her to the midden and deposit her upon the pile. She, however, walks straight back into the nest. You carry her out again and again. This stark, relentless ritual repeats until the telltale acid eventually dissipates. If she smells dead, she is, by your unwavering senses, dead. Your biological imperatives do not negotiate. Suddenly, A profound vibration ripples through the eastern tunnel. Heavy footfalls, dozens of them, perfectly synchronized. Something far larger than yourself is approaching. You are ascending to level 7, soldier. Level 7. Soldier, your head now spans a width greater than your entire body measured during your time as a nurse. Your colossal mandibles possess the crushing power to pulverize a seed husk that a minor worker couldn't even scratch. Your exoskeleton, twice as thick, renders you virtually impervious. You were not engineered for transport or delicate tasks. You were forged to hold the line. This destiny was determined for you even before you hatched, not through age, nor experience, but purely through nutrition. The larva that was you received an abundance of food, a distinctly different diet, and was immersed in specific hormones during a critical developmental window. This cocktail triggered a unique growth pattern, one denied to all other castes. Your head developed at an accelerated pace compared to the rest of your body, and your formidable mandible muscles expanded to fill your entire skull. By the time you gnawed your way out of your cocoon, you were, quite literally, a living weapon. Within your colony, the most colossal soldier can outweigh the smallest worker by an astonishing 500 times. To put this into human perspective, if the colony were scaled to our size, you would be a 40-ton creature coexisting alongside individuals who weigh a mere 160 pounds. You share a species, you share a nest, but you do not share a body plan. You stand sentinel at the critical tunnel junction, waiting. When the rival column finally breaches the eastern shaft, the source of the vibrations you felt for hours, you forcefully wedge your massive head into the corridor, locking yourself into an unyielding barricade. Behind you, minor workers frantically evacuate the precious brood. A sister miner stumbles in the panicked rush, becoming pinned beneath a collapsing wall segment. Other workers, without a moment's hesitation or a pause in their exodus, seal the debris around her body. The brood continues its relentless movement. You hold the line, an immovable obstacle, until the invaders are repelled or until your powerful mandibles shatter. Your head serves as an impenetrable barricade, your body a living door. Yet, your existence comes at a high cost. For every soldier the colony cultivates, a dozen minor workers could have been produced instead. Moreover, you are incapable of tending the delicate brood, unable to lay vital pheromone trails, and unsuited for any intricate task. You are a highly specialized instrument, and specialists, by their very nature, rely entirely on the collective efforts of everyone else to survive. The breach is ultimately sealed. The tunnel falls silent. You remain steadfast at the junction, your massive head plugging the encroaching darkness. For 2 days, the queen has emitted no chemical signals. The nurses are agitated, an unsettling undercurrent of restlessness permeating the chambers. Something fundamental within the nest has irrevocably shifted. You are now entering Level 8, Gamergate. Level 8. Gamergate, everything you understood about this colony, every truth you held, is now revealed to be false. For 7 levels of your existence, every rank, every caste, was irrevocably locked in before birth. Your nutrition dictated your caste. Your age prescribed your specific duties. You were never granted a choice, nor was any sister alongside you. The hierarchy was presented as chemically absolute, eternally permanent. But it is not. The queen is dead. Her powerful pheromone signal, the invisible, potent signature that for so long suppressed every worker's ovaries and meticulously maintained the fragile social order, has finally faded into oblivion. And in the profound, unsettling silence that remains, something awakens within you, something that was never, ever meant to stir. You begin to fight, not with intent to kill, but with a fierce drive to claim. You rear up, engaging another worker in a precise, almost stylized boxing match of antennae. Rapid, rhythmic strikes, dozens exchanged within each bout. She retaliates in kind. The combat appears almost formal, ritualistic, because it is. Across the entire colony, a staggering 70% of workers enter these intense duels. The nest transforms into a weeks-long tournament, a brutal contest of wills and strength. Losers are eliminated, ceasing their competition. Winners persist, their numbers gradually narrowing. You emerge victorious. Your antennae are battered and scarred, but you have prevailed. And then, A remarkable transformation sweeps through your body. For the very first time, your ovaries activate. Your internal fat stores rapidly increase. Workers, recognizing your new status, begin feeding you, grooming you, treating you with the deferential attention they once reserved solely for the queen. You cease foraging. You cease patrolling. You now reside exclusively in the brood chamber, meticulously laying fertilized eggs. The entire colony reorganizes its complex social structure, centering itself around you. Yet, there is a profound cost, an unmentioned consequence no one could have warned you about. Your brain shrinks, a full 25% of its volume irrevocably lost. The sophisticated neural regions you once utilized for navigation, for dangerous foraging expeditions, for the complex decision-making that ensured your survival on the exposed surface, you no longer require them. You will never again leave this chamber. Your entire world has contracted to the singular, all-consuming act of egg-laying, and your brain has diminished precisely to meet the demands of this narrowed existence. And in a phenomenon unparalleled in the insect kingdom, should the colony ever strip this rank from you, perhaps a rival worker defeats you in a subsequent challenge, or human researchers intervene and remove you, your brain remarkably regenerates to its full size within 6 to 8 weeks. You revert to being a forager once more, as if none of this extraordinary transformation had ever occurred. No other insect on Earth is known to possess such physiological plasticity. You effectively traded a significant portion of your mind for a crown, and the colony permitted this profound exchange. You lay another egg. The workers dutifully carry it away. The intricate cycle of the colony resumes, yet not every ant is born to stay. Some are destined to leave and never return. You are now transitioning to Level 9, Drone. Level 9, Drone, you are male. You are the sole male entity in this narrative, and paradoxically, you are the most disposable organism within the colony's intricate structure. You emerged from an unfertilized egg, meaning you possess no father. Your mother is the queen herself. Your entire genome is hers and hers alone, a singular, unpaired set of chromosomes. You are haploid in a colony populated predominantly by diploids, a genetic afterthought, meticulously engineered for one paramount reason: you possess wings. You are endowed with enormous, disproportionately large eyes, far grander than those of any worker, specifically designed to track a queen's aerial journey across the expansive sky. Your body is slender, your mandibles significantly reduced, capable of barely gripping food. Your reproductive organs, by contrast, are vast, occupying the majority of your abdomen. Workers must feed you, for you lack the ability to sustain yourself. You contribute nothing to the colony's defense, nothing to the nurturing of the brood, and nothing to foraging. You are, in essence, a flying delivery system for sperm, and this vital package comes with an inherent expiration date. The grand nuptial flight commences on a humid evening, typically following a refreshing rain. You depart the nest alongside thousands of other males and virgin queens, spiraling skyward in a breathtaking swarm, so dense it appears like rising smoke from the ground below. Your singular instinct propels you towards the queens, as it does every other male. The competition is absolute, a desperate struggle for genetic legacy. Most of you will fail. Should you succeed in mating, you will transfer your precious sperm to the queen's specialized storage organ, a minuscule sac she will meticulously utilize to fertilize eggs for the next 20 or even 30 years. Then you fall, overcome by exhaustion, perhaps suffering internal damage, or simply succumbing to gravity's relentless pull. You hit the dirt and do not rise again. If you fail to mate, you attempt to return to the nest, but the workers will not permit entry. They will unceremoniously drag you out and abandon you at the entrance. You possess no independent survival skills, no means of feeding yourself, and no colony that desires your return. You will perish within days. Either way, mating is your sole function. After that singular act, you are merely surplus biology. You may have no father, but because of your brief, potent existence, the queen's next 10 million daughters will, in their own unique way, have one. Level 10. Queen, you soared once. A single, fleeting evening, beneath a singular sky, what feels like a lifetime ago. You achieved your aerial rendezvous with a male whose form you never clearly discerned and whom you will never see again. His precious sperm now resides within you, securely locked in a chamber smaller than a dewdrop, sustained by specialized glandular secretions. It will remain viable for decades, a biological treasure. You will utilize it to fertilize every single egg you will ever lay. One mating flight, an entire 30 years of daughters. Upon landing, with an decisive act, you bit off your own wings. With your mandibles, you meticulously excavated a narrow hole in the soil, no wider than your own body. You then sealed yourself inside, destined never to behold the light of day again. Then, the gnawing hunger began. You had not consumed food since before your arduous flight, and you would not eat for weeks to come. In this profound act of self-sacrifice, your body began to break itself down, dissolving the massive flight muscles in your thorax, converting their stored protein into vital nutrients for your own sustenance, and for the crucial first clutch of eggs developing within you. In that sealed, solitary chamber, you surrendered half of your body weight. A staggering 95% of queens perish during this critical, vulnerable stage, succumbing to starvation, fungal infection, flooding, the unfortunate discovery by a predator, or the failure of their inaugural brood to survive. For every thriving colony depicted, for every diligent forager, every formidable soldier, every intrepid scout, there are 99 other queens who sealed themselves underground, never to re-emerge. But you did. Your colony now thrives, 3 years old and flourishing. 10,000 daughters carry your unique pheromone signature upon their bodies, a testament to your generative power. You reside in the deepest chamber of a vast nest you founded entirely alone, within a humble hole excavated by your own mandibles. Here, workers meticulously feed and groom you, carrying your eggs away the instant they emerge from your body. You are a tireless engine of life, laying 1,000 eggs each day. You possess the extraordinary ability to determine the sex of each offspring, choosing in real time whether to release a single sperm from your storage organ to fertilize an egg, thereby producing a female, or to lay an unfertilized egg, which will become a male. You are, notably, not a ruler in the conventional sense. Workers autonomously make every operational decision without your direct input. They forage, build, defend, and perish without your explicit command. Should your fertility wane, they may even depose and kill you, raising a replacement. Your power is purely chemical, not political. You are, fundamentally, a highly specialized reproductive organ around which the entire colony has constructed its complex civilization. You retain no conscious memory of your momentous flight. You recall nothing from the isolated founding chamber. Your neural architecture is simply not designed for such complex recall. Yet, your body remembers. The indelible wing scars on your thorax, the atrophied flight muscles, the persistent spermatheca that still safeguards the sperm from a male who perished 2 decades ago. The longest recorded lifespan of any queen is 28 years and 9 months. In that astonishing span, she outlived every single daughter she ever produced, every nurse, every forager, every soldier, every scout who ventured into the light and never returned. They sacrificed for her, and she, in turn, continued to lay eggs. The colony ceaselessly built, and the profound cycle remained unbroken. You lay another egg. It is smaller than a period on this page. A diligent worker carries it to the meticulously maintained brood chamber, where the temperature is a constant 27 degrees Celsius, the humidity unwavering, and the darkness absolute. She was once you, blind, legless, waiting. The colony endures. The cycle continues, ceaseless,